we're in the company of an extremely good fighter. The other day, Lawrence Okolie stopped by, British heavyweight contender. He returns to the ring next month. And who's he going to fight? I'll tell you who's going to fight. He's in the studio with us now. He fights former French Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka in Paris. The two will go head-to-head on April the 25th. And this will mark Okolie's fourth fight at heavyweight after stepping up from cruiserweight. We heard from Lawrence Okolie. Let's hear from his opponent, Tony Yoka. Bon après-midi.
Bon après-midi.
Oh, hello. Good afternoon.
Good French.
Great to have you here in studio.
Yeah,
That's all he's got in French. That's all he's got.
That's me done. Tony, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great to have you on board.
Thank you.
Fight camp is underway.
Yeah, definitely.
How are you feeling about this? You sat down moments ago and very briefly I said to you, how you doing? Yeah, good. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win it. You have absolutely no doubt, do you?
No doubt. Like I'm confident. You see, as Spencer said, I have been through some tough things last years, but it's been 2 years now. I train with Don. I feel really good with him. I'm happy. I'm happily married. I'm father of 5 kids, and I just want to beat some guys in the ring, and now I got the opportunity.
You're the father of 5 kids.
Yeah.
You look about 21.
I'm not.
This is amazing. This is fabulous. So, but when you look at Lawrence Okolie, what do you see?
I see a guy that wants to fight because Lawrence been calling out people those last months. I saw him in Germany once, wanted to fight Caballero too, but this is why I'm not really surprised why he accepted that fight, because I saw him in Nigeria when we both fought in December, and we were talking about the possibility of having this fight, and I think it's a great opportunity for me because he's ranking #1 now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I was speaking to Lawrence as well out in Dubai, and he was saying that any of the upcoming contenders, they're the fights that he wants, because obviously the title is held by Alexander Usyk. We don't know what's going to happen with that WBC belt. Agit Kabayel is the interim champion. So effectively, in a mad way, Tony, we were talking about this, weren't we? 2 years you were Don Charles. You're boxing at places like Brentwood Leisure Centre, trying to rebuild, get yourself back together. Yeah. You've done that. You've won your last 4. And out of nowhere, you get an opportunity for effectively a final eliminator for a world title.
That's his life. When you put the works on and when you believe in yourself, that's life. You know, I think I deserve that title shot because I'm Olympic gold medalist. You know, they don't give it like for free. So I won my last 4 fights. Some of them was tough, and now we just proved to the world that I deserve to be there.
Lawrence Okolie is looking forward to meeting you in the ring. He was in the other day, Tony. Let's dip into it. This is what he was saying.
I feel good. I mean, he won the Olympics the year that I went to it. So for me, this is sort of like trying to get my Olympic gold medal from him. But he's out and out, he's a good fighter. You're going to see me fight with a lot of passion and ferocity. I think when you're boxing a taller guy who's okay with sneaking a little split decision win or whatever else, you have to go and get him. So I'm looking forward to putting it on the line.
He knows you, you know him. There's a fair bit of mutual respect, is there, Tony?
Definitely. He's a tough fighter. He's someone who never ducked, so I respect that.
I mean, have you had history together before, as in sparring together? I know you were in the Rio Olympics.
We never sport together. We went to the same Olympic Games, but we never sport. It was to the cruiserweight. It was on the cruiserweight.
Yeah. He picked up the bronze medal. You got the gold medal that year. Yeah. So it's an interesting time and an interesting clash. Did you ever think you was going to fight him?
I mean, when he went up to the heavyweight, of course, I was like, okay, maybe I can fight him, and especially because he's in the top 10, so that's a good opportunity.
How important is it getting home advantage as well? Because we was over at the Paris Olympics. You come up and done a piece for us for talkSPORT, actually, which was great. You brought your gold medal. I was hoping to see that today, by the way. But but you brought your gold medal, and it was fantastic. But they love you over there. You were sitting with the president at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great for me to have the opportunity to fight in Paris. I know Frank and George Warren been telling me that they want to build something great in France too. So yeah, let's do it. I'm really, really happy about the fact that I'm going to fight in front of my public.
I mean, winning a gold medal. What has the transition been like, Tony, going from Olympic gold medalist to professional fighter?
It's really tough. You know, it's really tough because it's not the same style of boxing. But I am really, lucky because I was Olympic champion, really, how you say, opposite of old, young.
Oh, young.
I was really young. You know, I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
And this is why now I'm 33. I'm not even old for a heavyweight. I think I come to the perfect age right now.
How difficult has the journey been for you, Tony? Because obviously Olympic gold medalist, big things were expected of you. You went on a winning run and it looked like you was going to get there. And then you sort of derailed. And I know you had personal problems outside of the ring that affected your performances inside the ring. You lost 3 fights. One of them, Carlos Takam, I was at that fight there and you underperformed out in Paris. But now you've got yourself back on the road. But talk to us about that journey in between it. How do you stay motivated? You've had to come to London, found Don Charles, you've teamed up with him. So big commitment from your side.
Big commitment, but you know what? I was really young, and by that time, I made mistakes. I thought I did it. When I was Olympic champion, I thought I did it. I thought this was it. You know?
There.
Yeah, I'm there. And then I just gonna take a boat to the world title. It's just gonna be like this, you know. And no, that was a mistake because that was the beginning of my career. And then I realized. After I had my problem, after I had my issues, I realized that this is the beginning and I have to work for it and I have to believe in it, you know, if I really want it. And it's been like 2-3 years I work with Don Charles and I regroup, I improved myself. I took like 20 pounds to be like a real heavyweight and now I feel like, yeah, it's my time.
We've seen quite a number of fighters come from an Olympic Games background, Simon. And then, and Tony is being honest here, the transition is not easy. But this fella, I think, it's largely thought in boxing, this guy has a big future.
It certainly was at one point, yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, the fact that he won a gold medal in 2016 is about as relevant as Okolie Harrison winning a gold medal. It's about how you translate into the professional framework. And put aside the losses to Martin Okolie and to Carlos Takam and to one other fighter that's less name-orientated than those two fighters. You look at the last 4 fights, they're all good wins.
Yeah.
I know more about Lawrence than I do about Tony and what Lawrence brings to the equation. It'll be an interesting fight. I would lean towards Lawrence. I know that Tony was in the conversation for Anthony Joshua, hence the reason why there's a bit more currency around him, because we were talking to Tony 2 or 3 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, Tony, when you came on Talk Boxing with myself and Spencer, talking about the potential of a Joshua fight. Is he a good fighter? Yeah. Is Lawrence Okolie a decent fighter, a former world champion at 2 levels? Whether I think Bridgerweight is a decent level is irrelevant. He won it at cruiserweights. He's translating more naturally into heavyweights. I thought his performance against Kevin Lorena, although he caught some shrapnel, was quite commendable. I don't think you take anything from Ebenezer Tete because he should knock him out in 1 round. This is someone that Fraser Clark dealt with quite easily. And Lawrence is the number 1 in the WBC division. I think look, Lawrence, if he gets into trouble in this fight, will do what Lawrence does, which is grab and hold and make it a difficult fight. I wouldn't like to pick it, but if I was going to pick it, I would lean towards Lawrence.
And you don't mind that? You don't mind
I don't
Simon
mind
Phil?
it. I don't mind it. That's his opinion. But the fact is,
if you do mind, deal with him right now.
He's really wrong about it because Lawrence has a awkward style. You know, the way he grab people, and he was doing it in cruiserweight because people was smaller than him, shorter than him. But now we're in heavyweight, and he hasn't fought a real heavyweight. You know, I'm taller than him, I'm bigger than him, I'm physically stronger than him. Look, he cannot like rush me or trying to be like ferociously like he said on the video. That's not gonna happen. And plus, I'm way more technical than him. So like there is no way. The thing is, I've been smiling for 10 days now because I know I'm gonna win this fight and I'm gonna have this position. So I'm just happy.
It's a great opportunity. It really is. And this is a classic example of the landscape of heavyweight boxing when, you know, we're seeing you, like I said to you a year ago, we're having that conversation. I'm saying, like, you're scratching around boxing at Brentwood Leisure Centre, just looking to stay active, waiting for an opportunity. It seemed like you might get Anthony Joshua. That went away, obviously, with the tragedies that had happened to Anthony Joshua, and we wish him all the best, and hopefully we see him back in the ring.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like, the way that it's landed for you, great opportunity against Okolie, but because of this WBC situation, Agit Kabiel is in line next. If Usyk doesn't fight him, it's the winner of you two. Yeah. And that is the way that the game works now. So does that motivate you more than anything?
That's great. That's great. What I saw from Agit Kabiel last fight was not good. He wasn't good. He did what he had to do.
Was you in Germany then?
Yeah, I was there in Germany, you know, and I saw him, like, the fact that he get touched every time, you know. The guy touched him every time. And yeah, that's a really good opportunity for me. You know, I heard you talking about... what's the name of the guy who was Olympic champion in 2000?
Okolie
Harrison. I'm not him. You know, Okolie Harrison was a surprise. I'm not a surprise. I was 2016 gold medalist, but I was 2015 world champion, and I was 2010 Youth Olympic champion when I beat Joseph Parker. I'm not like a surprise. Everybody know that I'm good, and I want to say that everybody have a different journey. I compare my journey to Klitschko's one, Vladimir. He was Olympic champion, then he went to the pro. I think he lost like 2 or 3 times, two or three fights when he began his career.
You're the same.
Yeah, I'm the same. Then he regrouped. Then he was like so good, and he knocks everybody out. That's the same rate that I'm gonna be.
And maybe what Simon should remember, Tony, is that you're 6'7".
Yeah.
And you're sitting right beside him. British heavyweight contender Lawrence Okolie returns to the ring next month. That ring will be in Paris, France, and he will fight the French Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka in that part of the world. And it's eagerly awaited. Tony Yoka, French heavyweight fighter, is in studio with the three of us right now. France, Tony, it seems almost too obvious to say it. Not known for its boxing scene, is it?
Yeah, definitely, especially not in heavyweight.
No, I mean, I absolutely struggle to find any name that stands out that I would recognise. Jean-Marc Mormec, Georges Carpentier.
Yeah, that was old.
Mark Mormec was the one that David Hay dethroned in the cruiserweights. Yeah,
in Paris.
Good fighter in Paris.
Really good fight.
Yeah.
So how did you find boxing, or how did boxing find you?
I mean, my dad was a boxer. He was a big fan of it, and he started boxing in Congo, Kinshasa, when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman.
Zaire.
He was there, you know. So this is how he became like a big boxing fan, and he started boxing.
So it's in the family.
Yeah, it's in the family. Me and my brother, we all boxer.
Yeah.
You had a really successful career as an amateur as well, didn't you? Like, you started at a young age.
Really young. I started like 6 years old, and my dad always told me like, you're gonna be an Olympic champion, you know, and that's what I did.
Right. Before we leave the topic of you fighting Okolie, what will you bring that night in Paris?
I'll bring a lot of things. I'll bring me first. I think it's heavy, and I have a really big pedigree, a big experience in that sport. And I think now at 33 years old, I am mature, physically, mentally, and I just need to grab what is mine, you know. And I think this is my time now. I have been saying it. 2026 is my year.
How important is that home advantage, and does that add pressure to you?
Not at all. I think at the beginning, yes, because I was like feeling the pressure of everybody in France. I was in Olympic Games. I was my final was the most viewed things in the whole Olympic Games. You know, I'm really pretty big in France, but now I'm just happy. You know, when I goes there, when I meet my fans, when I went to the ring, I'm just happy. I just happy because I say, okay, I'm going to deliver what I said.
Did going through that, losing those few fights and derailing, take the pressure off you a bit more?
Yeah.
You feel like that sort of moulded you as a fighter? Because it does do that to
Definitely.
fighters.
You know, I think what I experienced those last year was crucial, because I found myself in those deep sea, you know, and I'm way stronger now.
It sounds like a tough time you've gone through, though.
Really tough, like really
What,
tough.
mentally, psychologically?
Mentally. You know, before I used to think like mental is like 20% of the game in boxing, but I think now it's more than 50.
Yeah. You've come to the ring again at a very exciting time in this division, not least because Tyson Fury is back in town. Is this something the heavyweight division needed, would you say, Tony?
I mean, everybody who can bring audience and good stories is good, because at the end of the day, boxing is entertainment.
Yeah. And I presume you see him coming through the challenge that Makhmudov will present, but you see him coming through it.
I see him win, because Makhmudov we saw against
David Allen.
David Allen. We saw him against Caballero. We saw him against Guido Vianello. He was tough before, but he's not that tough anymore.
What is your view of what is next for Alexander Usyk? He is back, but not back against an opponent that we might have expected. He's going in against former kickboxing champion Rico Verhoeven at the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Can a former kickboxing champion topple Usyk?
No. First of all, I want to say that I'm okay with that fight. Because,
Are you?
Yeah. Usyk deserved it. He deserved to fight anybody he wants, because he beats 2 times Fury, twice Joshua, twice Dubois. Who else you want him to beat? You know, he beat everybody in England, so he deserves to have a fight, an entertainment fight. The only problem we have is the fact that the WBC belt is involved.
Right, but you view this as an entertainment
Yeah, that's
fight.
an entertainment fight. The same way Ngannou fought Fury. That's cool. That's cool for boxing. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
So it's good for boxing.
That's been our argument, hasn't it? That is exactly what we're saying. Look, from the entertainment factor, give it to Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Give it to Usyk. He deserves that.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, and people will watch it if they choose to watch it. That's great. We've seen that with Floyd Mayweather in the past, etc. I understand it. The WBC allowing a guy that's had one professional boxing match back in 2014, not great, not acceptable for you guys who are working your backsides off to get that opportunity, and he jumps the queue because of what? What's the reasoning?
Well, you're not having it, are you? You and Spencer the other day in Talk Boxing were quite outspoken
WBC.
about it. As a result of that, Verhoeven was going to join us today, but the man who trains him, Peter Fury, said not so fast.
Yeah, but that's pitiful, isn't it? When you look at a WBC belt and you look at the names that have held it, and you go back into the 60s and you look at Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, you go into the 70s, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Larry Holmes, you go into the 80s, Mike Tyson, you go into the 90s, Lennox Lewis, you go into the 2000s, and you look at Vitaly Klitschko and Alexander Usyk and obviously our own Tyson Fury, and you go, this is a legacy belt. Mm-hmm. How can it not be beyond criticism if you're going to shoehorn in a kickboxer to fight for a legacy belt? And the fact that Peter Fury won't come on a show and talk about it just tells you the weakness of their own argument. It's not unfair. It's not unfair to say, what is this? This is poor. Alexander Usyk can fight who he wants, but the WBC strap shouldn't be involved. And
Do you agree with that, Tony?
Yeah, I agree with that. He should fight like anybody he wants. He have the right to deserve it. But I think like WBC belt, as you said, have a legacy.
I mean, it's interesting to hear your view on that, Tony, because Lawrence Okolie is number one with the WBC. He's in that position where so you're going to get a high ranking if you come through that one. It must be frustrating to see that you can be jumped. The queue can be jumped like that. You go, hold on a minute.
Yeah, definitely with someone that I think I will knock out in like 2 rounds, you know. So of course.
Have you ever sparred Rico before?
Never.
No.
I've seen his fight in Glory, and he's great. But I've seen his fight in boxing, and I don't think he's that good.
Is he of the standard that would validate him boxing for the WBC title? Because I've not seen him fight, but all I know is that he's had one fight. No, I'm saying, is he at that level where he should have that opportunity?
Definitely not.
I mean, again, I suppose the tragedy of the argument is that no one would have ever picked Ngannou to have potentially stopped Tyson Fury, and most people think that he would have lost that fight. It's not about who he's fighting. I do think there's a morality behind it, because I do think Alexander was very big about the opportunity that Anthony Joshua gave him to fight for a belt, and it catapulted him into other things. So there's people like Cabriel that have been waiting around for 18 months that really should be fighting for this belt now. Yeah. And if they want to go and make a bundle of money off these sort of crossover fights, then by all means, but let other fighters.
It's more about the ranking system, and that's what it is. And the ranking system is there for a reason.
This is why sometimes we're criticizing the UFC nanoids, but they're good. You know, the contender always fight the champion.
Right.
Other fights excite us, Tony, though. I mean, Fabio Wardley goes in against Daniel Dubois very soon. Yeah. I presume you rate these two highly.
Of course, that's a big match. That's a big match. Everybody wants to see.
Who wins it?
I think Daniel's gonna win it. I mean, I need to see Fabio in a tough fight. You know, it's for me to see Fabio world champion is a surprise. Because like 2 years ago, he wasn't in that kind of position. But he have won every fight he did. But I need to see him against like a tough opposition. His last fight against Parker, the stoppage was, I think, a little bit too soon. So I need to see against Dubois.
So you return to the ring against Okolie next month in Paris.
Yeah.
You want the name of Tony Yoka. You want your arm to be held aloft. Simon thinks, as only Simon can do, because he will say it as he sees it, he thinks Lawrence Okolie will do it. Who do you take in the night, Spencer?
Lawrence Okolie will start favourite. He has to start favourite, but he's not been tested at heavyweight. It's an interesting fight, and that's why, that's why I love it, because I know Tony's ability. I know he trains with Don Charles, so I've seen him up close and personal. I know what he's got. I know what he's been through. So it's for Tony Yoka now to prove to the world and prove to himself that he belongs there. But, if you're looking at the bookies' favourite, of course, Lawrence Okolie, he's the guy in form. He's the guy that will start as a favourite, but it's a great fight.
You know that imagine the fight in your mind at this moment, Tony.
Yeah.
How does it end?
I mean, a victory. I don't know if it's a knockout. I don't know if it's a point. I just want to say that he doesn't have anything better than me. I'm faster than him. I'm bigger than him. I can hit tougher than him. I can wrestle bigger than him because I'm a better athlete than him. I'm smarter than him. I mean, I'm prettier than him, man.
There you go.
What does he have?
Well said. Tony, thank you so much for being
Thank
with us.
you.
Merci bien. Tony Yoka with us, former gold medalist from the Olympics. In studio this lunchtime, and now it's the real deal. He's up against Lawrence Okolie next month, but in Paris. So the man has home advantage. There was a big all-British fight very recently. Leigh Wood up against Josh Warrington. Leigh Wood had won first time around. Would he do it second time around, or would Josh Warrington avenge the first defeat? Well, Wood did it again. He outpointed Warrington in their rematch at Nottingham's Motorpoint Arena, securing a second win over his great rival. Leigh said afterwards, not sure what's next for me. Warrington said that he wouldn't rush into any decision, but suggested that he might hang up his gloves after a fifth loss in 38 bouts. Now that dust is settled, what is next for Leigh Wood specifically? Leigh joins us live. Leigh, good afternoon.
You right, mate? Yeah. How are you guys?
Good, looking as if the battle scars have gone already. Great to have you on board. How are you feeling now that the dust has settled and you've done it again? You beat Josh for a second time.
Yeah, I feel good, mate. Recovery-wise, I've been in the hyperbaric chambers, just fixing injuries. Pretty much cleared up now, to be honest. Speeds them up a little bit. But, yeah, I feel good, and I feel like that was one of my better performances over the last 5 years. Not for the fans, but definitely for the team and myself.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, Leigh, that you executed the perfect game plan there, going into that one, which was a real 50-50 off the back of the first one, a fight that you was coming from behind to knock Josh Warrington out. You put in a first-class performance, mate, and showed that you still belong very much in that mix of the super featherweights. Where's it going to take you now, now that the dust has settled? Are you looking at like a Josh Padley European title route, or do you want to get yourself back onto that world stage? What is the roadmap here?
I'm not too sure, I always say, but I've been on the show before, it's fight by fight. And like I said, that was one of my better performances. So to finish on that would be hard because I'm flying. I'm still top of my game, performing well. Confidence is flying. My experience is right up there now. So yeah, I'd like to go again, but the right opponent. It needs to be the right opponent. I don't want to drop down, but I'll see what offers I get and see what's available. See, the landscape of boxing always changes, so we'll see who wins the fights in that first as well.
You'll have a very close eye on March the 14th out in Dublin. Jazza Dickens goes in against Anto Kakachi. I suppose you'll have a close eye on that one.
Yeah, I'm watching, but there's a lot of fighters probably ahead of me that have box eliminators and that as well within governing bodies, so we'll see what happens, but I'll be keeping a close eye on it for sure.
I mean, I may as well ask you straight, Leigh. You're 37. You've had a few wars in the course of your career. Do you want to go on, or do you are you at the back of your mind? Are you thinking, all right, maybe the sensible decision is to call time in it now?
I think I could walk away. Where I'm at now, but I felt like coming off one of my best performances. I'm top of my game. I didn't take a lot of punishment in camp. I didn't take a lot of punishment on the night. Why not have one more? But it has to be the right fight, I was talking to my auntie about some jobs and stuff when she was looking for some jobs of the week, and she said there's 3 things you have to consider when moving jobs or leaving a role or whatever. She said the first thing is money. Are you getting paid well? Yeah, I'm getting paid well. The second thing is, do you still enjoy it? Is it still fun? I love boxing. It's everything to me. And the third thing is, are you still learning? And yeah, I'm still learning. That fight, I learned something new. I learned a lot of things during the camp and the approach. So I took all them boxes. With boxing, it's a little bit different from work. Like, you're not taking blows, you're not taking punishment. But at the same time, that camp didn't take anything out of me. I feel like I'm fighting out how I got hit. So yeah, I'd like to go again, but it has to be the right fight.
Yeah.
You want to go, Spence?
No, go on.
No. I was going to say that the motivation is a key component part of what you do next, Leigh. What was the mindset going into the fight against Josh Warrington? Has your mindset changed about what you might do next? Because obviously you wouldn't want to finish your career on the back of a defeat against Kakachi. You'd want to be able to finish on a high and people remember you for the elite fighter that you became. Was the mindset going into the Warrington fight, I do this, I win this fight, I deal with the issue that people think we've got between myself and Josh Warrington, and that puts me in a place where I'm at peace? Was that the mindset, and is it now changing?
A little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit. It was more like, just get this win. I'm not really thinking about after this fight. Everything was focused on this fight, get this win. Because, like I said with you guys, if I'd have lost this fight, I'd have lost credibility for the first fight. It might have been a fluke. I know it wasn't a fluke. I knew what I had to do in that first fight. This time, he turned up a lot stronger, a lot further than he did the first fight. But because I knew him so well and my team stood him so well, I knew what I had to do to get the victory. So it made him look old. He's 2 years younger than me. He's not old. He's actually in better condition and physically better than was the first time. We just knew him really well.
I think it's a great point that Simon makes there, isn't it? Because you're at that stage of your career, Lee, where you go, you go out on a high, and you are on a high right now, and I think that Josh Warrington, that cements your legacy really, and you put that sort of rivalry to bed, and you just look and you go like, where's that opportunity going to come? Do I want to box at a lower level? Because the European level is that lower level for you. You're a former world champion, 2-time world champion. So, where does the motivation come from? And, what is the focus on that?
Let me tell you. So, first of all, I wouldn't want to drop down to European level because I don't think I'll be up for it. I feel like, I'm boxing at a lower level that I'm supposed to win at. So there's no fire in me. There's no motivation there. But like you say, what's the motivation? The motivation for me is in 2 years' time, or 5 years' time, or 10 years' time, I'm going to look back and go, right, I hold my gloves up after a great win. One of my best performances. I could have had one more. I should have had one more. They're doing what I love to do, nothing else. And if I could go back in time, I'd done everything I've done the same way. I'd have done the same career, the ups, the downs, everything. I wish I could live it again. So to look back in time in 5 or 10 years' time and go, I really should have had another one. I was actually peak performance, fitness-wise, strength-wise, experience. Everything was nailed on. Why didn't I have one more? I wish I would have had one more. And I don't want that regret when I'm in 10 years' time when I haven't got the decision to make.
So Lee, give us a name then. I mean, ultimately, the motivation for fighting will be a series of things. You've been a world champion, so I imagine you'd like to be a world champion again. Of course, you'd like to get paid because there's opportunities to capitalise on some of your previous successes.
I don't think it has to be.
Give me a name. Give me a name who you'd like to fight and what you think that looks like.
Navarrete.
Navarrete.
Yeah, and he's the sort of dominant force of that super featherweight division right now. I want to go back to what you were saying there, though, Lee. Like you say, one more, and I don't want to live with that regret. But on the flip side of that, you might have one more, and it goes all horribly wrong, and you go, "Why did I do that? Because I could have gone out on a high." So you're at that stage of your career, aren't you? And I'm saying this as a mate as well. When you get to that sort of level, you go, this is the opportunity for you now to go sail off into the sunset and go. The legacy's there, it's cemented, and you're going to be remembered as a great fighter. You go, at what cost is one more? Yeah,
possibly. You always with boxing, it's always one more. It's always a chance.
That's the point.
You have to take a risk. It's a calculated risk. So I'm on my game, and I don't want to wonder what if. I would rather say, well, I tried, I dared to be great, and I've done that my whole career. The Kanzu fight, I got written off. I dared to be great, and then other fights, I've dared to be great. I think regardless of the outcome, if I have another one, if I do, I'm not saying I will, but if I do, regardless of the outcome, I can hold my chin and say, you know what, I had a good career and I dared to be great. I tried that one more. It either worked out or it didn't. The definitely is a second one because I'm 30. I'm not boxing into that second year when I'm 30. I won't be boxing. So this is my last year. If I fight, it will be before October. If not, like you say, I'll sail off into the sunset. But my whole career, I've dared to be great and I took that risk and I wanted to take it one more time whilst I'm able to do so.
What would be the driving motivation, though, Lee? I mean, I don't know economically. I want to delve into your bank account, but what would be the driving motivation when you leave a sport that's been so significant and it's rewarded you? You've got a new chapter in your life. Will the driving motivation now be for you? I've got to look at what's coming after the boxing. Look what my life looks like. All I know is boxing. I need to get some more economic security, some more economic opportunity. Is that the driving motivation, or is it I can still win a world title, or is it both? I'll have both.
I don't think it has to be a world title. Once you win a world title, I don't think it's always a necessity. But I feel like a fight where people go, I don't think he's going to win that fight. That would get me up for it. Like a Navarrete would like, I don't think he's going to win that, or something like maybe another name. But that kind of, I don't think he's going to do it. That's what gets me. That's what motivates me.
Yeah.
And that's what always has motivated me. And whilst I'm still able to do it, I love boxing. It's been my life since I was 10, 11 years old. And if I could go back in time, like I said, I'd do the same thing. I'd pick the same sport, maybe over 10 lifetimes. So if I'm able to do it, what I love one more time, I'm going to do it. But it has to be the right fight.
Navarrete at the City Ground. Come on, Lee. Come on. Listen, what about Forrest? You're going to survive?
Of course, we are fighters and running dogs. We battled hard. We battled really hard last night, and we got the point. It's fighting time, and I believe we've got that fight in us to stay up.
Leigh, we always enjoy having you on. Today's no exception. Thanks so much. We finish off our chat on the subject of boxing with Spencer and Simon on the subject of the IBF Cruiserweight champion Jai Opetaia. Wow, what a wrecking ball he is. He will face Brandon Glanton for the Zuffa Boxing Cruiserweight World title at the Meta Apex in Las Vegas. But Opetaia's been talking about this highly controversial move, leaving Matchroom and joining Zuffa. And he explained to us here in talkSPORT why he's done it, and in the process had a little nibble at Eddie Hearn.
Eddie Hearn, he's not my mate. Like, we don't go hanging out and go to the pub together, and bro, it's fully professional. You know what I mean? Like, and it just shows, you know, I've signed this Zuffa Boxing to better myself, better my family, chase my dreams. You know, how many times I make it clear how I wanted an undisputed, you know, I'm chasing the belts, nothing happened, you know, like, and then I signed with him and he's just nothing but bad, you know, like just talking badly, you know, trying to drag me through the mud. So it's crazy, you know, he even wanted me to fight one of his fighters. Like, what? Like, how does that make sense? You couldn't get me a title fight, but the second I leave, you wanted me to give your fighter a title fight. Doesn't, but anyways, it is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm staying on my track. You know what I mean? I'm moving at my pace, you know, and these boys are moving with me. So let's go.
Well, you can watch that full interview in the talkSPORT YouTube channel right now, Top Boxing YouTube channel right now. Simon, Spencer, they're all lining up to have a little nibble at Eddie, are they not? Conor Benn, Jai Opetaia.
Well, it's business, isn't it? And I think that Zuffa Boxing are trying to make moves, and you know they're going to be moving at a fast pace. They're signing up fighters rapidly. Jai Opetaia is one of those fighters, and like Jai says, to be fair, and you know I have a little bit of a relationship with him, so I understand where he's coming from. He's been trying to get this undisputed cruiserweight title fights for a long, long time, and those opportunities have not presented themselves. So he's gone to Zuffa Boxing to hopefully create those opportunities. So look, it's the game, it's the business, you know, and I think that Eddie Hearn understands that as well, and that's what it is.
Do you think Simon is going to get better opportunities with Zuffa?
Get more money. How's he going to? I mean, he can't get Zudo Ramirez in a ring. I mean, Eddie Hearn would have tried to get him in the ring. There's no reason not to get it in the ring, but Zudo Ramirez seems to want to fight David Benavidez. And really and truly, Jai Opetaia is very clear. He is the real deal in his division. But he's not going to be given the opportunities because the guy that holds the other belts doesn't want to fight him.
But I think that on the flip side of that, Zuffa Boxing, which is Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White, they have the resources to be able to make that fight happen. And
they would have always
ultimately, it's prize fighting. And if there's enough money on the table, trust me, Ramirez fights.
And that's right. But they would have always had the opportunity. Now, if there was a concerted plan to take, there probably is, to take the best fighters from Eddie Hearn, in the same way that Eddie Hearn would have a concerted plan to try and take the best fighters from another promoter. Let's be clear, he had a concerted plan to take Ben Whittaker from Ben Shalom, and he did. So it's the nature of the beast. Eddie will get on with it. He'll understand it. I don't think Conor Benn had a nibble at Eddie Hearn. I think Eddie Hearn had a nibble at him, suggesting he owed him more loyalty and that all he wanted was a brief phone call. I'm willing to wager you when Conor Benn told Eddie Hearn that he was leaving, it wasn't a polite reaction that he got from Eddie Hearn. It probably was a nuclear reaction, which is probably why Conor didn't phone him.
So how long is it going to take for Zuffa belts to gain credibility?
Well, $1 million question, isn't it? I think, look, the Zuffa belt is going to take a long time to gain credibility because you've got your WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, even the IBO. You go like, look, they are the belts that carry prestige. You know, they carry merit. And I think that to come along now with the Zuffa Boxing belt, you know, the fighters, as they're growing up, they want to, you know, that is the dream, to capture one of those, the green and gold belt, the WBC, you know, love or hate it, you know, what we think about the politics behind that belt.
It'll be helped by the WBC doing things like Alexander Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven. That'll help them establish some credibility. But that'll give them some currency in terms of what the value really looks like for fighting for WBC belts.
But what I will say, Jim, is
it'd be nice to speak to Rico
what
today.
I will say is,
Tell his flaky manager then.
Yeah.
Weakling.
But what I will say, Jim, is that Zuffa Boxing, the Zuffa Boxing belt, will become relevant because I think they have the power to do that, and I think I think they'll move at a very fast pace. But it will become relevant.
They can get the top fighters, and the interesting thing is how's it worked out for the golfers? How's it worked out, this lucrative land that's been funded by Middle Eastern money? It's got them going, but where do they want to, they've still got the slams, they've still got the major events, they've not been able to destroy and divide and disrupt. So we'll see if they can buy enough of the fighters, they can buy enough of the real top-end fighters that influence them, move the dial, then it will be.
Why did you not say yes to a fortune to be an ambassador out in Saudi?
Because I don't feel the necessity to carry other people's views. I think it would have compromised whatever value I have. I enjoy doing the media for what I think, for what it's worth.
Do you?
I don't have to say things that other people suggest I have to say.
Yeah.
And if I do that, the first thing that people are going to say is, "Where's your integrity?" The same as everybody else.
We enjoy having you in the media.
Jim, also, I think that was a silly question, really, because when you've got a guy like Simon Jordan that's got an immense amount of money anyway, I mean, how much money do you want? And I think that's probably the reason why he said no.
What a very good point.
You never have too much money, mate. I can show you.
It's all about principles, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Spencer. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you indeed. Another hour of boxing has gone by, which takes us very nicely to 1 o'clock. Simon, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
You're
not
welcome.
just today.
Anything I can help you with, you let me know.
Throughout the week.
And enjoy all your money.
And every day from 10 to 1.